Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be showing you how we can combine just the normal standard version of Microsoft Excel with our Audit Safe software to be able to give you the ability to have 21 CFR and GMP compliance with the spreadsheets that you're using on site. Now, Microsoft Excel is an extremely versatile piece of software. We always joke internally that life science runs on Microsoft Excel, and when there's not a specific tool or method for doing something that you want to be able to do in the lab, Excel is always there. You can program it yourself. It's extremely flexible. However, it's not hugely suitable for use in a pharmaceutical environment. You don't have any kind of logs, audit trail. You're oftentimes working in a template that someone else has made, and you might not be 100% confident of when it was made, how it works, and it can take a long time to kind of work back. If someone has left the company, for example, that made it, it can take a long time to work back what all the calculations do if it's a very complex spreadsheet with many lookup tables, things like that. And finally, Microsoft Excel doesn't do a very good job of handling large data sets. I've experienced this myself. When you least want it to crash, it crashes when you've got a lot of data that you're working on, and that can lead you to lose data. So it's a necessary but imperfect tool, and certainly for large pharmaceutical companies, it's not able to be used in a QC or QA environment until you can use something like the Audit Safe software to make it 21 CFR and GMP compliant, and do things like have audit trails, electronic signatures, restrict access, see who has access to your spreadsheets when and where. So yeah, I'm going to guide you through the process, show you how we handle it, show you what can be done with a normal spreadsheet, and how you can bring that into like a QA, QC environment, so you don't have to change your processes. You don't have to try and find a specific tool if none exists and you can only do your work in Excel. We can help make that compliant so you don't have to change the way that you're working. So as I mentioned, I've just got the completely normal version of Microsoft Excel on my computer, and I'm going to show you how we work with it. So I'm going to log in as my kind of data analyst role. I'll of course enter my password. So obviously the first step you can see here is we've placed Microsoft Excel behind a username and password. So what I will do is I will create a new project and I will put the spreadsheet that I want to monitor and work on into that project. So I'll just click open here. You can see I've got a previous test here to make sure that this video went the way I wanted it to, because there's no quicker way to find a bug in a piece of software than trying to demo it to someone, I've learned over the years. So I'm going to create a new project and I'm going to import my spreadsheet into that project, and then we'll work on it. So enter a unique project name. Let's go for Excel YouTube demo. If you've seen any of my other tutorials about the Audit Safe software, the kind of Audit Safe wrapper, you'll know that this is a place to enter any notes. It's a freeform text box, so if you want to add something like used SOP 13.2, a batch number, a lot number of any chemicals, reagents, cells, anything like that included as part of the experiment, add them in here. They'll be part of the audit trail, so in 10, 15, 25 years, when you look back on the project, you'll have notes to remind yourself what procedure was performed, what we were doing, which batch number of reagents was used. It can really save you in the future if you need to kind of reproduce old experiments. It says optional here. You can, using the settings in the back end of Audit Safe, make that a requirement that you can't create an experiment without any notes. So I'm just going to put S for SOP 13.2. And I'm going to browse to my location where I've just got a Audit Safe demo XLSX file. So that's just, again, a standard spreadsheet. I've just put a little bit of text in it. You'll see it in a second. And click on New Project. So now I've got the project and my spreadsheet, a copy of my spreadsheet is sat within Audit Safe now. If I want to check it out, and if I just click on Open Spreadsheet under the Microsoft Excel integration we've got here, what will happen is Microsoft Excel will be launched and it will be forced to open the file that I've built into my project. So you can see I've got this as a test. This is also a test. So again, imagine I'm manipulating some data, changing some data, doing some addition, bringing in new data, something like that. I do that and then I hit save. I close down the application and then I commit the project. So What I'm doing here is I'm committing the copy of the spreadsheet that I was working on to the secure folder. We have two folders to where data is stored in AuditSafe. The secure folder is where data is immutable. It is the master copy. It is, the final truth of your data. And whenever we want to add data, change data, anything like that, we only ever work on a copy of what's in the secure folder. So that means that there's a certain amount of redundancy built into the system. If you're working on data and your computer freezes, there's a power cut, it sets on fire, catastrophe, you've still got the copy that was in the secure folder. All that you've lost is your working folder. So it minimizes data loss, minimizes exposure and risk by only ever working on a copy of the data, not the master of the data. When I commit my changes, a second version of the master copy is added alongside the first version. No data is ever deleted or removed, or no master data is ever deleted or removed. But when I do commit this change, the temporary folder that I had created as part of the checkout operation is deleted after itself. This is to maintain, the strict compliance that there is only ever one copy of the data at any one time, or certainly to minimize multiple copies of the data to only what is required to do the work that you need to do. So it's always important to remember, until you commit, until you check in, your data is at risk. So basically that's the save. When you commit, you've finalized your changes and that goes into the secure folder. So again, here we've got any notes that we can combine with this revision. So I'll added extra data, something like that. And you'll see if I go, you'll see that it's actually added to the audit trail here. So at this time point, this username analyst1 created this second revision, and then they added extra data, and that's what created this revision. Now we can always go back to our previous revision of the data and check out the data to see what the data looked like previously in time. So revision 1 is the first copy of the master data that we created, that we worked from. Revision 2 is the currently live version that we can work on going forward. So if I check this out, if I open it up again, you'll be able to see there's the data that I added previously, and then I can add more data. So you can have an ever-evolving, ever-working spreadsheet where the access is controlled, the access is logged as part of the audit trail, and you get all of the other kind of benefits of using the AuditSafe system. So you get integration with Windows Active Directory for username and password. You get easy backup systems. You get control over, timeouts for access. You get centralized logs and audit trails able to be exported from the admin tool that we've got included with AuditSafe. So adding extra data. And what you can do as well, of course, is extra data. This can also be used as a secure collaboration tool, because the spreadsheet, the files that we've got in a project can only be checked out one at a time by one person at a time. So when I perform my commit and it goes back to the secure folder, someone else can log in and do some work on that spreadsheet, but they will have an audit trail as well. So even if we're collaborating on a project with different business units, with different people in the lab, that collaboration can happen securely where no one can override each other's data, but we still have an audit trail, we still have permissions and logs. So it also works as a collaboration tool as well as a data safety tool to make sure that no one overrides other people's changes, things like that. And again, of course, because we're using the AuditSafe wrapper to perform this, we get all the functionality of AuditSafe, so we can still export individual files from the working folder. We can add attachments to kind of have SOPs or data sheets or anything alongside this project to go and give context to these spreadsheet files. And what we can do, of course, is send it to sign off. Please sign off. And then have someone with sign off permissions come in and sign off this project. We can lock projects. Basically, we get whatever we integrate AuditSafe with inherits all of the structure and rules that AuditSafe bestows upon it, that is standard within the AuditSafe package. So that's why we designed AuditSafe, is to be this flexible wrapper that means that when you're implementing 21 CFR or GMP in your QA, QC labs or in your production facilities, you only ever need to train your staff on one piece of compliance software, because we can put Microsoft Excel, we can put Microsoft Word, we can put Paint, we can put other people's software, we can put our own software. They can all still be in one piece of software. Audit Safe can cover 15, 20, 100 different pieces of software and equipment, all with one easy to use compliance interface with one username and password, have access to everything, have a audit trail that's universal, easy to read, exportable via PDF as per standards. So that's the flexibility and the ethos behind why we designed Audit Safe. It is designed to cover workflows, not just one piece of software, not just one file, not just one piece of equipment. It covers your whole workflow and means that you only need to train your staff once, trying to lower the inherent burden of employing 21 CFR and GMP on your production facilities. If you like the sound of that, or if you've got some kind of maybe niche, unspecific parts of your workflow that you want to make GMP or 21 CFR compliant, please speak to us. There's a lot we can do with this platform. It's very adjustable, and that's its strength. So please contact us. Check out the links in the description below. And if you've got a project that you need to make compliant and you're not quite sure how to do it, let us know. See what we can come up with.